think one of the biggest mistakes we make is expecting everybody to react just the way we would. And that's when we set ourselves up for a lot of mental torment. Because there's a situation and somebody reacts to it and says something to you which is really uncalled for in your opinion. And you can actually be doing nothing and people can take offense. And how are you supposed to react to that? Like you could just be asking me, can I borrow your, a shirt from you? And I say that, you know what, are you sure it's going to fit right? And this person is going to turn around and say, are you kidding me? I really object. You think I'm that fat that I won't fit into your clothes? I'm offended, So you could be doing nothing. You could be doing nothing and people will take offense. I remember one time when I was doing a calendar for my group, Bal Vihar group, and we used, some of the parents to pick and choose. After all, there are only 12 months in a year and we could only pick 12. But the parents whose child's picture was not picked were so offended and said all kinds of things to us. Now what are you supposed to do? People say all kinds of things. How are you supposed to react? We're trained to think that the one who shouts the loudest is the most successful, the best person, the one who gets the last word in. He's the one to look up to. Is that really true? How do you react when people say things that you don't want to hear? Things that are rude, things that are abusive. And this does not have to be your immediate family. It does not have to be in your, someone you deeply care for. It could be just about anybody. We come across these things all the time. You go to fill a paper out, in a government office, and the lady at the counter is going to say something to you. You can be doing nothing and people will come at you. It could be for a parking spot. That happens to us, right? At Christmas. I've seen videos on TV of people fighting over clothes at Christmas, trying to pull the one which is the cheapest. So are you supposed to respond or are you supposed to react? React, do not respond, is the mantra. Because if you say whatever comes to your mind immediately, it will be acidic. It will be something that you really didn't want to say, given the right circumstances. It would not occur to you to say it. In that moment, your ego has been offended and is saying, how dare you say that to me? How dare you call me that? And immediately you think of saying something nasty back. And you say something nasty and that person says something nastier, and then it never ends. And of course that statement, whatever takes place once. But in your head, it takes place about 5,000 times. I should have said this, and then she should have said that. How dare he say this? And what gives him the right to do this? And we need to do something about this. We cannot take this lying down. How many years is this going to happen? How many years am I going to say this? And then again it starts after 5 minutes. My God, I don't know how people just walk over me. I'm such a walkover. I never say the right things at the right time. And you're going over that conversation again and again and again. And you've allowed somebody to get into your head and take over your life. Haven't you? How often have we done this? Most often it happens mother-in-law, daughter-in-law. At least in India. I don't know about here how the relationships are. But there's a very strange relationship, And then you see your son carrying your daughter's, his wife's grocery bag while you're carrying 4 bags, and he didn't make any offer to help you. That happens, right? You see your son doing things for his wife, which he used to do for you. You find your daughter-in-law saying or doing things in a certain way that should never be done. But you have to keep it zipped. There is nothing you can do. Because you'll say something, she'll say something else, and then what she'll tell him inside the room is something else. And those underlying currents that go through in families, people talking about each other, which should never happen. Which should never, ever happen. So if somebody abuses you, it doesn't warrant a response. It doesn't warrant a response. You just sit back. You want to call me a so-and-so? You're most welcome. They're just words. In what way can it harm me? In what way can it change the course of my life? In what way can it change my destiny? In what way can it affect my happiness? Am I going to let your words dictate to me whether today I will be happy or not? Then we have gone against the very first rule, that abundance is our birthright. Happiness is our birthright. I will not allow any person, event or situation to deny me that birthright. The minute you've reacted to somebody, either by taking offense, even by crying, or by showing that you're really, really upset, you've already broken your own rule and got into a space where you are not happy. And that is not all right. Nothing on the face of this earth should have the power to remove the smile off your face. That is your greatest treasure. Your peace of mind, your happiness, your joy, your state of calm is your greatest treasure. Feel sorry for those that need to say these things to destroy your happiness. Feel compassion for them, that they are in a place where they need to resort to violent means, either by verbal abuse or whatever it is. Verbal abuse, in my opinion, is a form of violence, is a form of terrorizing, is a form of keeping you under, trying to control you. There is some sense of inferiority or some sense of insecurity in that person, that he needs to use this to feel good about himself or herself. Feel the compassion. You are a better person. Speaking karmically, if a person abuses you and you keep quiet, the bad karma is his. A person abuses you and you abuse him back, the bad karma is yours. You don't want that. You don't want the bad karma. And who is going to judge you? The only judge is the divine consciousness that's within you. Do you really care what that person says, thinks of you? By keeping quiet, maybe he thinks or she thinks you're a pushover. So what? So what? Be a pushover for the whole world. Let the whole world think about anything. Other people's opinions about you is none of your business. That's what my guru says. Other people's opinions of you is none of your business. If you're going to take one thing away today, take this. They can say what they want. They can think what they want. You do what is right. You do what feels comfortable. You function not from your ego. That gets affronted, that's ready, up, ready to fight. How dare you say that to me? What gives you the right? Who do you think you are? That's what your ego is saying. But your heart is saying, I am peace, I am calm, I am joy, I am happiness. Nothing can take that away. You have to get back within and withdraw. Let the whole world say whatever they want. Words are just words. Because he calls you a lazy so-and-so, doesn't necessarily mean you are. Might be, but that's besides the point. Criticism, if it's done constructively, is quite different from abuse. So you get what I'm saying, you get the difference. There are certain people, especially in tense situations, when the work pressure is a lot, when things are not going well, they tend to resort to this kind of control, this kind of abuse. They use words, they use their actions to put you down. That's what I'm talking about. Right? It happens in all types of relationship, whether it's between a boss and an employee, or spouses, or sisters, or siblings, or anybody. There are people that feel such a sense of insecurity that they feel the need to, if they control you, if they put you down, that's what gives them a boost, feeling, I'm a confident, well-rounded, successful person. Don't attempt to change anything. It is a waste of your energy. Especially when that person has said something to you and you go back to him and say, this should not have been said. They will never accept it. Maybe in a calmer moment later on, you can bring it up. Now, I'm not telling you to accept any type of abuse laying down. You must register your protest. How do you register your protest? By turning away. Somebody's talking and you're not listening. Who is getting affected? You walk out of that room. Because as soon as they have reached a stage, and that way, I've learned a lot from a lot of people, especially my daughter. My daughter cannot stand the use of bad words, any type of profanity. If anyone uses that, she kind of shuts down or blows up. And I like it better when she shuts down than when she blows up. And I've examined both these reactions. We blow up. Most often say, how dare you say that? And that is coming from the ego. How dare you use bad language to me, this pure me, this person that is above all these things? That can be even more offensive to the other person. But to keep quiet requires tremendous, tremendous strength of character. Awareness and complete mindfulness that you are not going to engage. You're not going to engage in a banter that takes you nowhere. To be able to walk away and keep that smile on your face is for a person on a spiritual path is the only symbol of success. Your success is measured by how happy you are at all times. How content, how satisfied, how centered you are at all times. That is all that matters. Getting the last word in is not at all important. We get buffeted all day by things people say and what people think. A friend of mine came to a blue party and said everybody should wear blue, but he wore orange. I'm not bothered that anybody else is going to say anything. So I also didn't comment on it. He wanted me to comment, saying, oh, why are you wearing this orange shirt? Oh, I want to be different. Don't give them that space. Don't want to engage anybody in anything that's controversial. Try to stay as much. There's enough problems in this world rather than engage people into a controversy, into a long drawn out argument. I just want to be peaceful, do your stuff, and go from womb to tomb that way. And that's what I'm trying to do. I don't have